Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the DC Collectibles DC Comics Icons, figure number 8, Lex Luthor. During Spot's initial run of looking at these figures, the one figure I didn't get a chance to look at was the DC Icons Lex Luthor. He does have a warning choking hazard, small parts not for children under 3 years of age. It looks like he comes with a ton of different hands. And it looks pretty cool. I feel like the figure could have been on a larger deluxe scale for how much, adding the extra armor and stuff that you could have potentially given him. But still, the figure looks really good. Side of the box, figure number 8, DC Comics Icons, Lex Luthor, Forever Evil. That's what they put for his read-up. And on the back, the other figures that we've already had a look at was Flash, Blue Beetle, and Black Adam. This is sculpted by Joe Mena and designed by Ivan Rice. On the bottom of the package, www.comicsshoplocator.com if you want to check out your local comic book stores, or if you want to find a comic book store in your vicinity. You can also go to www.dccomics.com, check out some of the stuff that's going on in the world of DC. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, however, we're going to get a better look at the DC Comics Icons, figure number 8, Lex Luthor. There's more anyway, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Lex Luthor comes with a considerable amount of accessories, all of which we will look at in a second. But first things first, let's have a look at the figure itself. It's about the same scale as the other DC Icon figures that we've had a look at. A little bit smaller, yes, but where they make up for it on, where they lack, maybe on a scale-wise, they certainly make up for it on detail. Sadly, this one leg of Luthor, I don't know why, he's a little on the loose side. Just a little bit on the loose side. The rest of the figure is nice and, joint-wise, nice and stiff. Facially, I think he's got one of the nicer looking Lex Luthor sculpts. A consistent trend I'm noticing with all the Icons figures is that the paint is exceptionally clean. Especially on his face. It's very immaculate, actually, the level of detail on his eyes, his eyebrows, and his mouth. He has a very stern look on his face as well. Necessarily no expression, I would say, but more than makes up for it, he's got just a really commanding presence. As for the rest of his suit, it's more tailored, I think, to his size, as opposed to giving him a big, bulky Luthor suit that we've seen before. This one is a little more scaled down and more conforming to his body. An opportunity certainly could have been made as well to give him a much bigger suit, but this kind of also screams to me like the old Superpowers figures, where Luthor, I think, had a more smaller, closed-in armor rather than a big, bulky, almost Iron Man armor. Purple is nice. It's more of a matte-colored purple as well. The green on his armor is a little also more shinier by comparison to the purple. It's a good contrast because this doesn't look as robotic. Well, it still has a robotic look to it, but the green really pops, I think, versus if this was a shinier purple as well. So I like that. Now, Luthor does come with a couple of different accessories like we touched base on before. I'm not quite certain, I should say, what some of these are. I'm wondering if this is perhaps like a force field, because he's projecting it from his fingers. That's the guess I have. Certainly, if you guys do know, let me know down below, but we can go ahead and pop Luthor's hand off. We want to make sure the peg here is brought forward, just so we can actually fit it. Here we go. Like, it looks like he's either creating a temporal hole, through time, or it looks like he's ricocheting and creating a force field. The other accessory that has Spot somewhat perplexed is this. Looks like a key or some sort of little wand that Luthor is holding in his hand. It's not removable, it's sculpted to his hand itself. And once again, just pulling the hand off, popping the hand in. Again, I don't know if it lends itself more to the idea of a temporal dimension, but he has that for options. Kind of wish he had had something more in tow with maybe like a kryptonite theme as opposed to it just being, you know, these as his fall to accessories or fall to alternate hands or ways that you can display the figure. The other hands that he has available, let's go ahead and pop these off. He has a pair of open hands. And though we have not gotten ourselves a Superman yet, I think I'd be more inclined to display Luthor with opened hands in his grasping struggle to destroy the Man of Steel. The other thing that he also comes with, what appears to be a spike. And we can go ahead and slap that onto his arm. It doesn't really stay in place per se. It gets a little on the loose side. But still does a pretty good job. I just kind of wish it was a little more of a secure fit. I guess as you move it a little further up the arm, it gets a little more secure. Like to around that area there. It's a little bit more of a secure fit. Posability-wise, Luthor has what you would come to expect from the DC Icons line. He has a ball joint head, though a little limited by motion back and forth because the collar kind of restricts motion from moving the head side to side. Shoulders do hinge out. This one's a little bit stiffer, but it's very smart how they've sculpted the shoulder armor here. They've sculpted it so it actually connects to itself in a way when you move the arm up. As you can see, when we bring the arm up, it finishes off the top cuff, top bust area of his armor. I like that a lot. He has a bicep swivel in the arm. He has a double hinged elbow, though the armor does really prevent any secondary hinge from happening between the elbow point there. A swivel point in the wrist, which also hinges in the hand. When you get to his torso is on a ball joint, rotates left and right. He also has a secondary crunch in the lower torso where it connects to the waist area here, although it's just a little on the stiff side for this figure. Legs hinge out quite easily, no issues there. The sides of his armor, much like the shoulder areas of his armor, do a good job of staying out of the way. They don't hinder any sort of motion. Nice rubber plastic there. He has a double hinge knee, rotation in the boot area, and finally he has a hinge in the lower foot, although it's just again really stiff on the figure. There we go. Just put that to the side. I think Luthor turned out well. He could have granted gone the route of a much bigger figure, like in the way of maybe a Hal Jordan that we had to look at that had all that extra armor. Luthor could have also done with that as well. But as a scaled down version of Luthor, I think he still turned out exceptionally well. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the DC Collectibles DC Icons. I believe this was figure number 8. We're looking today at Lex Luthor. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.